Hello everyone, welcome to Cover 2 TV. I'm Steve Hoare and I'm here to talk to you about the draft prospects that could be coming up in the 2018 NFL drafts, the non-quarterbacks. Last week I spoke about the quarterbacks, the guys who will get all the attention, but there are a few more players I think you need to know about coming into this college season. So let's go. First of all, let's talk about Saquon Barkley. He is the running back from Penn State. He is going to be one of the top prospects as we go into the draft already. He's got the potential to be better than Leonard Fournette and better than Ezekiel Elliott. He is that good. Well, why is he so good? Well, first of all, he is the ultimate dual threat quarterback. He can run, he can catch, he can between the tackles, he's great. To the outside, he's fantastic. With the ball in his hands, he is ultra dynamic. He is the modern day NFL player. Think Joe Mixon, what we all saw from Joe Mixon without the off-field stuff, and that's kind of what we've got. And like I say, if Joe Mixon hadn't had all his issues, he probably would have been a top 10 pick himself. He obviously that was what it was, but Barkley has none of that so far. He is going to be an ultimate top 10 pick. I would be surprised if he wasn't. In terms of pro comparison, he reminds me of a young Matt Forte. Anyone who watched the Chicago Bears a few years ago knows how good Matt Forte was. Running straight behind the tackles, he was great. Running to the outside, fantastic. And then he was the ultimate pass catcher. One of the best pass catching running backs of all time. If Barkley goes on to have a career like Matt Forte, he will be absolutely delighted. Next up is Derwin James, the safety from Florida State. Now, you talk about big hitting, aggressive, nasty safeties, and that is exactly what Derwin James is. He is an absolute hammer. He basically, when he hits you, you stay hit. He's a great tackler. He's great against the run. He can play in the slot in terms of coverage. He has got everything you need to be a safety in the NFL. And like we know from the last draft, safeties are going back up in the top 10. For a while, it was a bit, out of vogue, or it wasn't a done thing to draft safeties high, but we've seen how important they can be in the modern NFL. With move tight ends, with slot receivers, you need your safety to be elite, and that's exactly what Derwin James is. He's only played 14 games so far. Injuries have plagued his career, but from those 14 games, you can see just what a nasty individual he is. Pro comparison, well, if you talk big hitting safeties in the NFL, who do you think of straight away? It's Kam Chancellor from the Seattle Seahawks. Again, he is an ultimate winner. He can cover. His instincts are fantastic. And like I say, when he hits you, you stay hit. And that's what James is projecting to be. Kam Chancellor is one of the best safeties in the league. He has been for the last few years. High comparison, but Derwin James deserves it. He is that good. Hopefully he goes on to prove it this year. And if he comes out, he will be a top 10 pick for sure. Next up, we've got Minkah Fitzpatrick, the cornerback from Alabama. The guy is an absolute ball hawk. He is fantastic. He played safety last year when Eddie Jackson broke his leg. The year before, he was playing as a nickel corner slot guy. Basically, Cyrus Jones was at Alabama, and so was Marlon Humphrey. Top players, they got the starting position at corner. So Fitzpatrick ended up moving around. This year, he's going to go back to cornerback where he deserves to play. He's earned that right. But that versatility is key. You might see him move around. Alabama might use him as a chess piece at times, which, like we know, the modern NFL defensive back will get moved about. Perfect. Exactly what you want. If you're a defensive coordinator and you can get a guy who can move around the field, that is absolutely perfect. And that's what Fitzpatrick brings. I mentioned earlier, ball hawk. He had 6 interceptions last year, and sometimes, in fact more than sometimes, quite often when he gets the ball in his hands, he can take it back. He's got a 100-yard interception touchdown return to his name. Absolutely fantastic. I think he had 8 receptions last year. Perfect. What more do you want? I mentioned ball hawk, and that's why his pro comparison to me is Marcus Peters from the Kansas City Chiefs. Sometimes he'll get beat, sometimes he'll get burned, but his instincts, he always finds himself around the ball and catching the ball, and that's what Peters does. The modern NFL, like I keep saying, it's all about turnovers. It's really difficult to stop teams scoring points, but if you can turn the ball over, you've got a massive chance. We've seen Alabama cornerbacks go high in the draft before. Fitzpatrick's the next one. I would be surprised if he went any lower than 15 if he comes out in the 2018 NFL draft. Next up, we've got Christian Kirk, the wide receiver from Texas A&M. The guy is a catching machine. 163 catches so far in his two years, over 1,900 yards and 16 touchdowns in just 2 seasons for A&M. The guy just catches passes for fun. And he's probably going to play in the slot all season, so when you project him to the NFL, he's going to be a slot guy. Does that represent value in the draft? Who knows? You might be able to get a bit of a steal. I think personally he's going to be absolutely fantastic. Who does he remind me of? He reminds me of Jarvis Landry from the Miami Dolphins. The exact same. Over the middle, brave guy, gets his hands on everything. As we all know, no rookie has caught more passes in their first couple of seasons than Jarvis Landry. And Christian Kirk is very, very similar player. He's also an absolute stud punt returner. And when you're a rookie, the more you can do, the better. You can get him on the field, get him into the action. I think whoever drafts Christian Kirk, if he comes out in 2018, will be getting an absolute star and potentially an absolute steal. And finally, my favourite prospect going into the year, it's LSU edge rusher Arden Key. Is he an outside linebacker? Is he a defensive end? It doesn't really matter. The guy is an edge rusher and he is an absolute monster. Let's just call him an arse kicker because that's what he is. He just beats people up and he hits quarterbacks and they stay hit. He is absolutely amazing. He's 6'6". His arms are enormous. He's got the swing moves that get past people. He's got the spin moves. He's got absolutely everything. If you watch him play, you see that spin move and you think, oh my goodness, it's like a young Dwight Freeney. It is that good. A lot of scouts, a lot of analysts think that he's possibly the best defensive player to come out in a long time. Better than Myles Garrett, better than anyone we've seen recently, and it's hard to disagree when you watch the tape. Obviously, he did have a short break away from the team. He has had the shoulder injury, so we'll see how that affects his stock. But right now, if I had to bank on the first defensive player off the board, he won't be the first player because they're going to take quarterbacks who are going to come off. The first defensive player off the board, I would pick this guy. In terms of comparison, and this is the highest praise you can give someone, and I'm not saying he is this guy yet, but athletically speaking, he reminds me a bit of Von Miller. And like I say, Von Miller's an absolute star, we know that. Watch how Key gets around the edge, watch how he bends. He is very much like Von Miller. He almost looks like he's running on a hill. His legs are straight and his body sideways is absolutely fantastic. 55 tackles, 11 sacks last year, and he's only going to go and get better for LSU. If you are going to watch any college tape this year, I implore you to go and watch Arden Key playing for LSU. You will not be disappointed. So that was the 5 non-quarterbacks who I think you should be looking out for in the college season with one eye on the 2018 NFL draft. Like I say, let me know in the comments below which of the players you like. If you don't like any of these guys, is there any players I've missed off who you think me and our viewers should be watching? Like I say, put them all in the comments below. Please give this video a big thumbs up, it really helps. Please subscribe to the channel, and until next time, I'll see you all soon.